All right, what's going on? This is Cooper Anderson, coming to you with part 2 of the Pro Tools collaboration project with Mark Dollar from This Is Audio. So I started the beat here at my studio a few weeks ago, and then I sent it to Mark via the Pro Tools collaboration project, the Avid Composer Cloud. And now we're gonna see what he did with the project and then just arrange it a little and do a quick mix on it and kind of finish it up. All right, so first we're just gonna go up here to Pro Tools. We're gonna go to Open Session and then Projects, and I got This Is Audio, doesn't exist. So let's double click that and we'll download the project. This has all of the new files that I haven't seen on this computer yet because he added guitars and other parts. So we're gonna check out what he did and see what we can do with the project. Okay, here we go. That took a really long time, but that's okay. All right, here we go. So we have the project open. Let's just see what this says here. We have a notification, track ownership requests. I'm going to download all shared tracks. So I have to individually go through and get the updated version of each one of these tracks. Okay, we're going to go up here and click on the automatically download new shared tracks. Let me just hear what we have here. All right, so let's hear what we have now. Oh, actually, first I'm going to save as a new version. We'll call this same thing with today's date, which is February 27th. Okay, so that's one of the guitar tracks he did. I'm just going to color that. I'm going to color all the guitars yellow so we have everything organized. We'll put these down here. Color palette, tracks, yellow. Okay, great. I'm going to make the kick dark blue. This is kind of my standard track coloring. Snare light blue. We'll make the hat green. Okay, this is the 808, so 808 and bass will make purple. And then these are all synths. It's gonna be orange. And the FX we will make, I don't know, this color. All right, so, okay, so we basically have a bunch of tracks. Now last time when I was making the beat, my focus was on the analog synth units. So that's where I came up with the sub bass. Now he's actually added an 808 bass loop here. I actually like the 808 bass way better. So one of the things about arranging is you have to be okay with getting rid of parts that don't work. And even though I spent a significant amount of time on this analog sub bass, I like this other bass way better. So I'm just gonna get rid of that. I mean, we'll keep it around, but I'm going to hide it and make it inactive because I don't really need it. I'm going to kill the MIDI too, just to keep everything clean. All right, so what else do we have? Here's this hard guitar. Let's hear this. That's pretty cool. And he's got a sweet guitar. That is sweet. That's one of Mark Dollar's signature sounds. I mean, he nails like guitar parts like that. And then we have the chop guitar, which was that little riff. Okay, so, and then I have my virus. That's a synth that he added. And there's another virus track. Yeah, that was, oh, that was the pad. Okay, so we can kind of just make this into little blocks and pretty much put the parts where we want it and just make it into a little beat so that we can send this out and get some rappers on it. I'm gonna just take these MIDI tracks and hide them for now because we don't need them. We're just gonna play with audio. We can delete this click track. Clicks are easy to remake. Okay, so we have now everything's like really nice and organized and color coded. You can see on our mixer, it's the colors match up. Oh, we have a MIDI. We're gonna get rid of that for now. So everything's all nice and organized. All right, so let's put everything on bars to make this simple. And as you can see, like some of these tracks don't line up right to the beginning. I think that's just the actual part. So what I'm going to do here is take everything and consolidate it. Shift Option 3. Now I just have audio that I can make into bricks and put it wherever I want. So we got to kind of come up with a concept. So the main parts of the song for me that are most like, you know, stand out the most are this sweet guitar. Actually, now that I'm hearing it, this virus isn't really working for me either. It doesn't seem to line up with these other two parts. Actually, the virus, I guess, works with the element synth. So let's start with those two. Let's just move everything over. We'll just move it over here for now. And I want to just come in with the virus and the element for a few bars. I hit B to split the regions there. All right, let's just hear this. I want to sound design this element synth just a little bit because it needs a little bit of EQ. You can see all that low end there. It really doesn't need to be there. He put a delay on it. Let's see what that's doing. Try to give it a little more space just by tweaking this delay. And we can even EQ out some of that lower mids too. Give it a little more sizzle. Not really sizzle, but like air, I guess. I like the Fab filter for cuts more than boosts because I prefer to use like character EQs for boosts. So I'm just gonna use what's a good character EQ? I don't even know. I have so many. Let's just go with a Neve. You can't go wrong with a Neve. This also has the preamp emulation in it, which is great. So let's hear this. It's nice. It gives it a little more presence. Okay, cool. So let's hear that again with the virus. Now the virus is sounding a little glassy compared to that, so let's actually roll some of the highs off of the virus. And we can probably notch some frequencies out of this. Let's hear it. That virus sounds like it's based on FM synthesis, which is incredibly clean, and it has there isn't that much like actual harmonics in the sound, so it's not a very dense sound. So if you cut a sound like you heard I was doing, or you cut a frequency, it really kills the sound. Like this frequency I thought was a little harsh, but then when you bring it down, listen to the volume of the track. I'm just gonna solo that so we can hear it. Like it's harsh, but it's a very distinctive part of the sound, so we can't cut it too much. I'm gonna leave. I just want to take a little bit of it off so it's a little less harsh. And this also has a lot of that low end that we don't need, so let's take some of that out. Let's see. You can see it all down here. All right, so that's the first 8 bars. Now let's work on the next 8. Let's bring the kick in and see what happens. All right, that's kind of dope. This kick and this 808 aren't really working together, so I want to actually replace the kick. The easiest way I've found to do that is with this Slate trigger. Where is it? Steven Slate trigger. And then we can just trigger something else. I mean, this plugin is geared towards live drums, but you can actually use it with any kind of samples. So I find it really easy to just keep my favorite samples in there. Let's try this Dez kick. And that's triggering way too much, so we gotta turn off the re-trigger. This triggering isn't really working right. Let me hear the kick without it. See, it's all that low end on the kick. I think we can just take some of this out and then see if that'll trigger it better. Hear how that's just like the snap of the kick? We might actually even keep that in. Let's hear how that's hitting the trigger. See, that's a much more like defined transient, which is what the trigger plugin needs to trigger the sound replaced sound. As you can see, the level is much lower, so we're going to bring our detail back down. All right, so our triggering is perfect. I'm not sure if this sound's going to work. Let me actually turn it up so I can hear it. It's still a little long and subby. I want something that's more like punchy because we have that long 808 kick, and that's gonna really carry the subwoofer. So we need something to punch it through so you can really hear those kicks knock. Let's try this 10-minute kick. That's pretty solid. This is a classic kick sample that I use a lot. Let's see. That's great. Now, actually, let's duplicate this without the trigger and then keep the top end from that other kick and see what happens. Still needs a little more punch. I'm just going to sound design this kick, and we'll do like we did last time, and combine everything into one track so it's simple. That Lex Luger kick is solid. Let's try that one. I'm actually going to just drop this into my trigger folder. Let's see, where is it? All right, so yeah, so I just have a trigger folder that has all of my samples in there, and I just copy stuff that I like into it. And then I can go to the trigger browser, we'll refresh that, and then we can drop this in, and now this is triggering on that track as well. And we can actually commit our kick. Is this what I want to do? Yeah. We'll commit our kick. All right, so now we have our kick. And then we can just normalize this and add that into the trigger folder as well. Okay, so let's go here. We'll go to Audio Suite, normalize, and then we're going to rename this Shift Command R. This is going to be TIA kick. Then we're going to export that to our, let's see, samples, trigger. All right, so now we have that in the trigger folder. We can delete this. Then we'll load trigger back up. Refresh. And we have the TIA kick. What I love about this is you can actually tune the individual samples as well, so we can get everything solid in tune. I think ours is a little sharp. And you can hear there the 10-minute kick was out of phase with the Lex kick. So let's try our TIA kick and see if that's in phase. It's weird, it's like a partial, slightly, it's not quite exactly on in phase. Let's just leave it with those two for now. That's sounding pretty good. And then we can add some dirt to it. Let's see, what do we have that's good? Let's try, I mean, one of my favorites is the Thermionic Culture Vulture. You can hear already that just makes it slam way harder. Let's hear that with the 808. Okay, that's kind of cool. Now I want to just take some of the high end off of this 808 because I don't like those extra attacks in there. Not 100% sure this is going to work, but we'll try it. My other 808 secret weapon is the Slate virtual mix rack. I have so many plugins that a lot of the Slate stuff is like duplicates for me, like the SSL stuff and the Neve stuff. But one thing that's unique to them is this CS EQ and CS lift, and I love this CS lift on 808s. Also, this console, this is what I originally got all the Slate stuff for, was the console plugin, because it's kind of dope and it runs on the internal CPU. So I have my Slate virtual mix rack to just default to opening up that. But for stuff like an 808 or anything with a bass, I take it off the group and then I put it on the Neve console, the Brit N, and let's hear what that does. It really it brings out the low end. Let me just show you. Just gives that low end a lot more presence. But this CS EQ, this is where we're really going to make the subs rock. There's two frequencies there, big or punchy. I just kind of crank it all the way and flip through between the two and then see which one I like better. I'm kind of liking big for this one. We might back it off a little. It's actually, it was pretty subby to begin with, but this just like really makes it knock super hard. I'm actually going to go in and edit the audio to get rid of, there's a couple extra like kicks that are coming through on the 808 that kind of sound wimpy now that our kick is hitting so hard and it doesn't exactly match up. So I want to just make sure that pattern's solid. Like this one right here in particular doesn't need to be there. I actually used that elastic audio to stretch that out, this one 808, because I couldn't find another one to copy over there. So I just wanted to get rid of that one attack that was in there. It's still a little choppy when it comes back into this thing. Let's see if we can clean that up some. it turns out I didn't need to do any of that because the second part of the phrase was exactly what I was looking for, so I just copied that. So let's copy that through the rest of the track for now. All right, so let's hear what we got. All right, that's great. So now I want to come in with like a big snare reverb right before the verse drops, because this is basically a 16-bar intro. Not sure if I'm loving this snare. Actually, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make this snare mono. So I'm gonna get rid of the right-hand side of the snare. So just kind of a standard 808 snare. What I actually want is a clap. Let's see what we have for claps. That's it. That's actual 808 clap from an 808 machine that my friend who used to work at a synth shop sampled. So let's drop that in. Oh, it's mono. And we'll put that right on the quarter note right before downbeat. So now we're gonna give this some reverb. It's just so it's like a massive like clap reverb. I'm a huge fan of the Lexicon reverbs. I use them on almost everything. Love it. They're just so lush. All right. All right, so these guitars shouldn't come in quite yet. I'm gonna put our clap up here by the snare because I actually want to make like a snare and clap like combo pattern. Also our snare, I think we're gonna need to grit that up a little bit more. Let's see what we have for the Lex Luger snares. think that one sounds like it might work. Let's drop that in. Actually, I think the higher pitched one is slightly better. And let's get one more clap in there so we can make a solid hip hop beat. Let's get the Lex clap. I actually like two of these. I want to pitch these snares up a little bit. I'm going to use the elastic audio. Oh no, and we crashed. Figures. Yeah, that's great. All right, so fortunately we didn't lose too much with the crash. Let's just save as a new version. All right. going to expand these out so I can see what I'm doing. So basically, the whole point of the collaboration is that I started a beat, Mark vibed on it, and it was something else, and now I'm taking his vibe and bringing it back and doing, now I have a new inspiration. So I'm kind of putting that all together, and then we're going to do a quick mix on it. Well, I'm kind of mixing as I go, but we'll see how it goes. Basically, when you're producing a track, you're going to want to be kind of mixing the whole time because you always want it to sound as close to finished as possible. And I keep like flying stuff out and then fixing one little part and reflying it. That's okay. I'm just trying to just arrange it bit by bit. And if I have stuff that's flown already that's wrong, sometimes it's easier to just select it all again and then refly it like that. So maybe this is a good place to bring that sweet guitar in. Let's see. Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's like a break, and then I'm gonna make this next section the chorus or the hook. So we'll grab our whole drums and bass. Actually, we'll grab half of the drums and bass. Pop that right here. All right, so let's see how this is going. Starting to come together. Let's just fiddle with it a little more. Yeah, it's cool. I like the hard guitar coming in right there. And then we have one more track that we haven't used yet. Let's hear this. Dope. So now this whole section is like a verse and a hook. This 16 is the verse. We have like an A verse and a B verse, and then we have a hook, like a breakdown and a full hook. And you could have like a female vocal come in or something on this breakdown part, and then the rapper comes back in or whatever. I don't even know. Doesn't matter. But the arrangement is starting to sound pretty dope. So let's take this whole thing and duplicate it one more time. So now we have verse 2, and then we have hook 2. And then I'm going to take, let's see, then we'll take this intro, like the second half of the intro, and then we'll pop that back in for like a bridge. And then we'll grab the second part of the hook twice, and that'll be like the outro. So let's let me just pull up the rulers here. So we got minutes and seconds, and then yeah, my brain's like pre-programmed for radio format. 3 minutes right on the nose. We're at 250 here, and then we could go out with like just this. And it doesn't even matter, because when you're doing songwriting, I mean, basically we're gonna put this into like a stereo mix and then send this out to writers, and they may even chop it up and change the form, whatever. We're just kind of putting together ideas, and then if it gets picked up, then we'll come back and like really fiddle with the stems and make sure everything like totally meshes with the vocals. For now, I'm hearing like just a couple more little things that I want to add, and then we'll just do a quick mix. So I want to go back to the full hook here. It's that classic 808 cymbal. I'm going to take some things out here and just kind of play with the cymbal a little bit. Replace some of these, this falling star thing. You know, just change it up a little, give the sections a little more variety. man, this Pro Tools keeps crashing on me. This is the brand new version of Pro Tools, 12.7.1, just came out like a couple days ago. I want to add this symbol in there once we get back up and running here. All right, so that time I had actually saved it. Let's add that last symbol. I think it's this one. That's gonna go right here. Yeah. Okay, so this is gonna be like an upbeat open hat. All right, sounding great. Okay, so now I'm gonna just import my mix template, which is like my standard sends and stuff. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if this is gonna be compatible going back to Mark, but I know it'll sound good, so that's my main concern here at this point. That's one thing you got to keep in mind when you're doing these collaboration projects is you want to keep stuff, you want to only use plugins that are available on both systems that you're collaborating with. And the easiest way to do that is just to use the stock stuff. Now, Mark and I had actually discussed what plugins we have in common beforehand. Oh, wait. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to delete this. All right, I'm going to do the 10-minute rough mix, which is basically you can either do 10 minutes or like 2 passes. You start with all the faders on 0. And I like to do that before I import my template because my template has the faders up. So then I don't have to like click through everything again. But also the other thing to be aware of, see this is out 1 and 2 and this is A out 1 and 2. We want to just make sure those are all in the same output. Otherwise things will get screwy. All right, so let's just make those all the same. Okay, so we're gonna do the 2-pass rough mix. I'm actually gonna start here with the kick because I like to start with the drums. I just noticed I have a little bit of an extra snare going on in there. That's kind of annoying. just one little tiny piece of audio that I had edited wrong. So now it's on all of them because I flew it all in. Trying to find a better pitch for the hi-hat, but we may actually need to sound replace the hi-hat. I'll come back to that because I totally got off track with my 2-pass rough mix or 10-minute rough mix. Okay, so let's come back in with these main synths here. All right, so we got to smooth this ending out a little bit. I may have to re-import some of the older tracks. See these little ending like reverb tails. I need those. I'm just gonna actually consolidate and export those. I have a local copy of the session saved on my computer. I'm just gonna put it there because I don't really know the better way to do this. Yeah, sometimes you got to just go with what you know, and it may not be the best or most efficient way, but if you know how to do it, then you're going to be comfortable with it, and that will make it quick, which is efficient. So it may actually be the best way for you to do it, or in this case, me. Okay, so I basically took those last little bits of audio and I popped them onto a local folder. As you've seen over this process, I like to just find stuff with the Finder, just because that's how I'm organized or not organized, however you may want to look at it. But so basically, I like just dragging stuff in because it works in pretty much any DAW. All right, so let's hear this now with these new endings. That didn't work on the Element one. Perfect on the Virus, though. And remember on episode 1, when I was recording them in, this is specifically why I recorded every little bit of audio, because sometimes you need those tails to make everything smooth. I'm just manually dropping it in. Whoa. Let's see. Just manually putting it in. Every time this Virus track ends, I want the actual trail off. That deverb is fantastic, and I don't even like. I'm not a fan of the deverb, but since Mark spent that time creating this sound with the deverb, it's like perfect for it. So I'm just gonna treat that as the sound. I was gonna load the CLA guitars. Just want to like compress this a little bit so it cuts through a little better. That's great. I love this preset. That's usually what I do with this plugin is like I'll just play the track and flip through the presets, and then whatever makes the track poke out the most or whatever I'm trying to do, then you can tweak them a little bit, and it has all the effects right in it, like all the bass, treble, compression, etc., etc. But we still have some frequencies in there that need to be notched out, so let's take a look at those. All right, I just made this guitar massive. One little trick I use often is this S1 imager. A lot of people use this for widening stuff, but it actually sounds pretty bad for widening, but it sounds really good for narrowing stuff. So I narrowed this a little bit and I panned it. And this is like a slightly different kind of panning than your pan knobs, because I'm not sure exactly how it works, but it's panning with phase. So instead of like just, level left or right, you're going to actually use the phase of it. So basically what happens is if you're panning everything else with the regular pans and then you use this pan for like one or two things in the mix, it'll make it kind of have its own space because it's like slightly different. And that's what I'm constantly looking for, stuff like that. And then what I did was I used my send to my preset Echo Boy quarter note here, but I only did one side. So this is on bus 9 and 10, but I just went to bus 10. So I basically panned the guitar left, but I'm echoing it on the right. And then this is the effect. All right, now I want to kind of do a similar thing with this chop guitar. I want to do like some kind of like stereo image something, because all these guitars he sent are mono, which is great for like putting them in a certain spot. Okay, so let's start with just panning it. Let's do this one. Hard left. This one hard right. This one hard left. And this one hard right. And then let's add a couple sends. I'll do this bus 10, and then I'm going to do bus 9. So the first one's left, so that'll... Okay, so then we'll add a couple more lanes here. We're going to do bus 10 mute, and then we're going to do bus 9 mute. I'm going to have both of these muted, and then I'm just going to pop in which one I need when I need it. So we're going to start with 10. Then we're going to go for 9, and I can actually copy this automation. Oh, no, wait, I can't. Never mind. It's cool. All right, let's hear this. So I'm basically panning left and echoing right, and then I'm panning right and echoing left. So this guitar is kind of like poking in and out, like wherever. And I want to use some SSL EQ to make it poke out even more. I love the Waves SSL EQ. I don't know why. I think it's the best one. Trying to find a good like doubler sound. Ordinarily, I would use the Waves Abbey Road ADT doubler, but I don't actually have it on this computer. Let's try fat wide pad. So that was cool. I was flipping through and I found one that I kind of liked, but I wasn't sure. So I hit A to B, and then I flipped through and found another one. And then you can select here and you can flip back and forth between the two presets. So if you're not quite sure, you can like kind of check them out like that. I like this Light Me Up a little better because it's a little more laid back. I don't need this guitar like crushing through the front of everything. right, I'm kind of actually running out of studio time here, so I'm gonna just do a quick mastering on it. I mean, we're pretty close to done on this anyway. So I like to throw the Universal Audio Manly Varimu on. I just kind of have a default preset. That actually like just rides the compression the whole time, and it sounds super smooth on this plugin. Really only works on this plugin. I mean, it really only works on this plugin, the hardware unit. All the other Varimus I've heard just can't quite get it this smooth, so it's like not even worth using. Let's see. Then I'm gonna run it through my GML EQ. Let me just check to make sure the settings are right. Yeah, I have a standard setting I use on that. All right, then I throw it through this Ampex tape machine, kind of glues everything together. The only downside of the analog EQ is you have to do real-time bounce, but that's fine with me. Let's listen to it down. I'm going to just save a new version. We're going to commit all of these tracks to the cloud. All right, and then I'm going to save a copy with my local copy. We'll save that here. To 2717. Again, I don't know if this is the best way to do this, but it's what I know how to do. And since I'm not 100% comfortable with the cloud yet, I want to just go with what I know. And we'll keep it safe here on my Dropbox. And then let's upload all of these tracks. Then we're just waiting for the collaboration to finish, and then that should be a wrap. All right, guys. So that was basically how you do a Pro Tools collaboration session. And this episode specifically focused on arrangement and mixing. So if you have any questions, feel free to email ipadbeatschool@gmail.com. Hit me on Instagram, ipadbeatschool. Or you can find Mark and This Is Audio on Facebook and Instagram. Just hit us up. We're available for sessions, mixing, production, pretty much whatever. Or if you need a specific lesson, let us know. We can probably do a tutorial on it. Thanks for watching.